This is exactly how I felt all day today. Yes, sir. Look at him. Yup. There you go. All right, let's get serious. All right, so what's going on, everyone? Another amazing day in the another amazing day in the market. So if you were following me on Twitter, again, just a spectacular day. Oh my God, I don't even know where to start here. All right, so obviously at 10 a.m. this morning, Fed Powell testified in front of Congress. All right, so this morning, so generally, whenever Fed Powell speaks, the market tends to be very bullish afterward. So I essentially wanted to buy into some weekly lotto calls for the NASDAQ in case we were to pump. All right, so I posted this at 9:45 a.m. prior to the meeting. All right, I got these for $89. 20 minutes later, at 10:05 a.m., they were up 75%. And a lot of people made a lot of money on that play. And obviously, you know, I alerted tons of other plays during the day. NVIDIA went up 30%. And then, like, later on in the day, these same calls went up 230%. I didn't get a chance to post them on Twitter. But these February calls that we bought the day before went up over 70%. NVIDIA calls were up 25%. Microsoft calls were green as well. And then later on in the day, I alerted NASDAQ and IWM calls. Those were both up 20% as well. So another really, really, really amazing green day. Today is the second day of the second trading week of the year. And we are absolutely crushing it. We have been on the right side of the market essentially every single day for the past 2 weeks. Or for the past... this entire year. Okay, so in today's video, I'm gonna go over what my next steps and my thoughts are on the market in general. I'm gonna go over the SPY, the NASDAQ, the IWM, the very important 30-year bond, crude oil, and then of course the crypto market. All right, so let's get started with this video, man. So tomorrow morning at 8:30 a.m., we're going to receive the CPI numbers. Most likely, these numbers are going to be bad. They're not going to be good, right? But every single indice on the chart looks extremely bullish. And today I'm just going to explain my bias of why I think everything looks extremely bullish. And just purely everything is really just a textbook swing opportunity. So number one, we're taking a look at the SPY here, okay? First of all, we can clearly see that the SPY closed above its 20 exponential moving average. So the 20 exponential moving average, if you look at the top left of the screen right here, 469.61. Today we closed above it at 469.75. So number one, that is very bullish. Okay. Number two, we closed above this fib level right here as well at 468.96. So the SPY closed above two very important levels of resistance today, and it closed on its high, essentially, right? The other things that are very, very bullish right now is that the MACD looks very, very bullish. Like this is basically exactly what we want to see. The MACD is very oversold. We closed above two major levels of resistance here, and the RSI is barely showing strength. When it's barely showing strength like this, right? While we closed above major levels of resistance, that means that there is still tons more room to the upside. Okay, so purely from a charting perspective, not including what might happen with the CPI numbers tomorrow, this looks extremely bullish. Okay, so yeah, there's the SPY. Literally right now, the SPY looks extremely bullish. Okay, so now let's go ahead and take a look at crude oil. So crude oil clearly looks very, very bullish as well. The next clear level of resistance is going to be at this 82.90, 83 level, essentially. So crude oil, you can see that the MACD is not even moving up really, but we're breaking above important levels of resistance. This is extremely, extremely bullish. All right. So because crude oil is bullish, the SPY also is very bullish as well. It's a very, very good sign. So now the SPY, essentially, the next upward target is really, essentially, once we break above 470, the next very important upward target is going to be 473. So this was a really just perfect textbook close on all three major indices. And this is exactly what we wanted to see for the SPY. This is also exactly what we want to see with crude oil, because crude oil is also showing strength, which will propel the SPY into strength as well. So this is just really, really good. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the IWM. So the IWM, yes, the chart is very messy, but in terms of technical indicators right here, it looks the most bullish. So right now, the MACD on the IWM is completely flat, as you can see here, right? It's completely flat, yet the IWM is reversing from its bottoms, okay? So usually what ends up happening is when we reverse like this, MACDs also sharply usually reverse as well. But now the fact that the IWM is breaking above levels of resistance, we broke above this 217.19 level. We held this level of support, which is this trend line, right? And the fact that all of this is happening, yet the MACD has not moved. Look, the MACD has not moved. It's flat, which means that there is explosive potential to the upside. And we closed above this 217.19 level, which is also very, very important. And essentially we closed on our highs as well. So, another thing is that the RSI is barely moving upwards as well. So there are multiple reasons to be bullish now on the IWM as well. If we end up falling for any reason tomorrow, I mean, these plays, you have to take them. This is literally like textbook swing opportunity. If you're not going to go long when these things happen, then you're not going to get many good setups like this in the market. So when there are good setups like this, I mean, you just have to take them. So that's why I alerted them. These calls were up 25%. I'm still swinging them. And yeah, it closed very, very well. Now, the next important level that needs to be closed above is this 218.11 level on the IWM. Once we close above that, then 219.50 and then 220, obviously. But right now, the IWM is just showing beautiful strength. The MACD is showing just ridiculous strength. And the RSI is showing a lot of strength as well, similar to what I showed on the SPY. It's barely moving upward. So overall, the IWM looks very, very good also. And I would love to see now, actually intraday, when I alerted these right here, right? The IWM was outperforming the NASDAQ. So that was, thankfully we got into the IWM on these dips here, and they worked out really, really well. So overall, the IWM looks very, very bullish also. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at the 30-year bond, the NASDAQ, and the large tech stocks. All right, so here's the 30-year bond. And when the 30-year bond does well, when it goes up, right, the NASDAQ also goes up. All right, so currently, you can see that the 30-year bond yesterday held a perfect level of support, which is another reason, which was the reason why I had initially went long and why we caught this bottom together, right? And now today, it's closing above a very major level of support, right? And it's green today. So the 30-year bond closed, acted very, very bullishly today. And that was another reason why I got into more NASDAQ calls and why I was so bullish on the NASDAQ during the day, because the 30-year bond was showing so much strength. So now the next level, essentially, that the 30-year bond needs to go to is this prior level of resistance right here, which is approximately going to be at around 157. So right now, this is beautiful. This is a beautiful reversal on the 30-year bond, and it translated beautifully in the equities in the stock market, right? We can see that the MACD is starting to cross above. Obviously, it doesn't look as bullish as the indices, right? But it's a really great sign short term that we held this level of support and that we're green, right? The RSI is slowly moving upwards, which is a really, really good sign because we were oversold, and it's slowly creeping up, even though we broke above this level of resistance. So that is very, very good. So overall, if we break above 157, that is going to be spectacular, I think, for the NASDAQ. And essentially, it's just amazing that we caught this bottom if it continues on higher, right? So one of the major reasons why I think the NASDAQ can continue going on higher is, for example, if you look at Microsoft. So Microsoft is a $2.3 trillion company. There is still more room to the upside in terms of where it broke down from. So we still have yet to cross above this important level of resistance here at 318, right, on Microsoft. Also, if you take a look at Amazon also still has more room to the upside. And, obviously both of them had really, really great green days. We're closing right at these levels of resistance. But then once Amazon also crosses above 33.38, it's going to be very, very bullish as well. You can see that the MACD is crossing up above. The RSI a bit sharp, right, in terms of the strength that it's showing, but it closed above major levels of resistance. We held this level of support perfectly yesterday, and it looks really, really good. So now also we can take a look at Google. Google, similar story. We closed above a major level of resistance, and we reversed beautifully. The MACD has still not yet crossed above. So all of these stocks that I just showed, the MACD had not crossed above yet, which means that there's still more room to the upside. And the RSI, obviously, it's showing strength as well. It's great. So Google, Microsoft, and Amazon still have more room to the upside according to the momentum indicators and the fact that we crossed above major levels of resistance. So we could also take a look at Apple. Apple, same story. The RSI is barely moving upwards on Apple, which is a great sign. We reversed off of this bottom here. We had a very, very green close. We closed at our highs, essentially right at this level of resistance. And the MACD has tons more room to the upside. You can see that the MACD is still oversold. Okay? All of those major stocks that I just shared are showing more room to the upside. So that is a very, very good sign. Okay? So now taking a look at the NASDAQ, the QQQ. We essentially, back here on December 20th, when I went long here across along this trend line, we came and reclaimed back above that trend line today, which was 384. So right here, this trend line, if you zoom in on the daily, it's essentially 384. Okay. So number one, we closed above that level of resistance. Okay. Number two, we closed above this other major fib level at 384.84. All right. So we closed above those two major levels of resistance. And what did we see the MACD do? The MACD still has so much room to the upside. It is still very, very oversold. Okay. So the fact that we closed above two major levels of resistance, yet the MACD is still showing tons more potential to the upside, is a very, very bullish sign. If at this point, after looking at all of the indices, all of the stocks, after looking at the 30-year bond, if for some reason we end up falling tomorrow, it is what it is, man. Because like this is literally just a beautiful setup and a beautifully bullish setup for longs. And if it doesn't work out, literally there aren't many good setups like this. I haven't really seen that many good setups with so many reasons to go long in a while. So if they start the year off doing this to retail, I can't complain, because this is really, really a really good, high quality risk reward setup. The NASDAQ closed above major levels of resistance. The indicators are showing still tons more potential to the upside. We closed above this major high here, prior high. The next essentially levels now on the NASDAQ are going to be 387, obviously, and then 389, which is this 38.2% fib. Well, look, guys, this is so bullish overall. That's another reason why I got into a bunch of calls. I alerted a bunch of calls. Now, of course, we could fall. We could fall tomorrow, right? And the level that would essentially need to hold for tomorrow is 384.50. So as long as 384.50 holds as support tomorrow, and doesn't close below that level, we have reclaimed this uptrend line. And you can, go back to it. It had multiple touches all throughout history since September. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if you want to count this, and 7. And, here, once we broke down below it, it, caused a dramatic fall. And now 8 or 9, whatever the number is now, we just reclaimed it. So that's a very, very major important trend line, and we crossed above it. So it's beautiful. So there's tons more room to the upside. The NASDAQ is showing strength. The 30-year bond is showing tons of strength. Crude oil is showing tons of strength. The SPY closed above the 20 exponential moving average, showing tons of strength still. The IWM MACD is flat. So tons of reasons to be bullish on the market. This is not a time to be bearish. Definitely not a time to just buy puts at the close today. I think we're in good hands long overnight. And the main thing is that the 30-year bond is bullish. So yeah, I think we did a really, really good job today. I think we're also going to be rewarded tomorrow, hopefully, with the market being bullish as well. And those were a bunch of reasons why I think the NASDAQ and the overall market is going to be bullish. Also, we could look at the NDX. So the NDX, this same trend line, this is like the SPX version of the NASDAQ, right? We closed above the trend line as well. So lots of reasons to be bullish. And yeah, I mean, if we fall, it is what it is. I can't really, it is what it is, man. It just wasn't meant for us. But these were literally just super bullish, beautiful swing opportunities. I hope you guys understood why I wanted to enter and why I think all of these opportunities are very, very bullish. So yeah, there's my analysis on the overall stock market. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the crypto market. All right, Bitcoin is starting to look bullish because right now the MACD is crossing above. The RSI is also crossing above. It looks like it's basically starting to, cross above this trend line, which is a very bullish sign. The next major levels of resistance in the short term are going to be 43,700-ish and 44,000 essentially for Bitcoin. If we cross above those two levels on Bitcoin and comfortably start trading above 44,000 and 45,000, then I do not think it'll be much more unlikely that we'll fall back down below 40 if we can start closing above 45. But overall, for now, Bitcoin looks very, very bullish. And that should not be something to take lightly because these were beautiful opportunities to go long at 40,000 and we ended up falling even below 40,000. We came back to 39,600. So people can have just loaded up on these longs and now we just send it to new all-time highs. Who knows? But right now, still a beautiful long opportunity for Bitcoin at 42,000. For the rest of the crypto markets, everything is just beaten down. And if Bitcoin from here now goes to all-time highs at like 69,000, then it's, all of the coins that you're essentially going to get in are going to pump up 50, 60, 100%. So yeah, man, overall, this is just this was a very bullish setup. I still, we just have to monitor what happens the next few days. But overall, Bitcoin looks very, very bullish. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Ethereum. So Ethereum also looks very, very bullish. We need to cross above this important fib level right here at 32.35, right? You can see that the MACD is also still oversold. So there's still more room to the upside. Whereas Bitcoin, the MACD was, just slightly crossing above. Ethereum has not yet crossed above yet. So once we cross above 32.35, the next important level for Ethereum is going to be this 33.75 and then 3,400 level. Again, if we can reclaim this downtrend level on Ethereum, this will be very, very bullish. And yeah, essentially, again, this was just an amazing bottom, amazing long opportunity. Banks and hedge funds are now involved in the crypto space. So they've been getting involved since Bitcoin made a new all-time high. And now things are basically like 40, 50% off of their highs. So it's still a really, really good long opportunity in the grand scheme of things. So yes, they might fall down a bit lower, but overall things are bottoming now. This is not the time to go short. Now is the time to start looking into longs for Bitcoin and Ethereum overall. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I hope you guys made a bunch of money today. Definitely follow me on Twitter. I post all of my plays completely free, everything. And I'm just here to help. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you.